You're listening to Consphere. Ever noticed how the majority of apps basically vanish? Turns out, the biggest conspiracy against your success is not the competition. It's your own team and process. From building a team of yes men to creating a Frankenstein's monster of features, we're uncovering the pitfalls you need to avoid. Let's dive in.
Today, we're tackling a topic that's the make or break for most apps, and it's not the idea itself, it's the team and the process. So, are you ready to talk about why so many brilliant app ideas crash and burn?
More than ready. I think every founder has that moment where they have the million-dollar idea scribbled on a napkin. The vision is crystal clear in their head, but the chasm between that napkin and a successful, profitable app in the hands of users is massive, and it's usually filled with, well, pitfalls.
Pitfalls we're going to map out today. Let's start with a brutal stat to set the stage. Did you know that a staggering 99.5% of consumer apps fail to make a profit? It's not a typo, 99.5.
Ouch. That really puts the lottery ticket aspect into perspective, doesn't it? But here's the thing. I don't think most of those apps fail because the idea was bad. They fail because of how they were built, and more importantly, who they were built by. The founder's first and most crucial job isn't to code, it's to become a master team architect.
I love that term, team architect. It's not just about hiring people. It's about designing a team that can actually construct your vision. And this is where founders make their first and often most catastrophic mistake, the temptation to hire your friends, or people who just agree with you all the time.
The echo chamber hire. It feels safe, right? You want a comfortable environment. But what you end up with is a team of yes people who nod along while you design a feature that maybe makes no sense to an actual user. You need dissent. You need people who can look at your baby, your brilliant idea, and say, that's interesting, but have you considered this might be a terrible user experience?
Exactly. You need to actively avoid building a team of clones. The goal isn't unanimous agreement, it's constructive conflict that leads to a better product. So let's break down the don'ts of team building. What's the #1 financial mistake founders make when hiring?
Hands down, it's prioritizing cost over competence. The founder thinks, I can get 3 junior developers for the price of 1 senior architect, and they go for the cheaper option. It seems like a smart budget move.
But it's a trap.
A massive trap. Because that 1 senior developer could build a clean, scalable, and secure foundation in a month. That might take a junior team 6 months to create, and it would be riddled with technical debt. A single critical bug that slips through because of inexperience can be an app killer. We see data suggesting that a single bad App Store review mentioning a crash or a data loss can deter dozens of potential downloads. And if that bug is pervasive, you could lose a huge chunk of your user base overnight.
It's the classic penny-wise, pound-foolish scenario. You save on salary up front, but you pay for it later in delayed launches, endless bug-fixing cycles, and a terrible reputation. Another don't we see is the monolithic team. This is the founder who was, say, a brilliant back-end engineer, and so they hire more brilliant back-end engineers.
Right. And then they have this incredible, powerful engine with no car body, no steering wheel, and no seats. A team that's heavy on one skill and light on others is fundamentally unbalanced. You can't build a great app without great design. You can't build a great app without a product manager thinking about the roadmap and the user. It's like a band with only drummers.
That would be a very loud, very rhythmically precise, but ultimately unlistenable band. So we've talked about what not to do. Let's flip it. What's the ideal do team structure for an early stage app?
I'm a huge fan of the pizza team concept. It's a term that's been around in Silicon Valley for a while. You should be able to feed your entire core team with 2 pizzas.
I love that. It forces you to stay small, nimble, and cross-functional.
Precisely. So your 2-pizza team typically includes a product manager who owns the why, a UI/UX designer who owns the feel and flow, a front-end developer who builds what the user sees and touches, and a back-end developer who builds the server, database, and application logic. That's your core quartet. 4 to 6 people, max, at the very beginning. This team has all the competencies to take a feature from an idea to a live, functioning product.
And in that team, you're looking for culture add, not just culture fit.
Yes, that's a crucial distinction. Culture fit can sometimes be a sneaky way of saying, thinks like me. Culture add is asking, what new perspective, what new skill, what new way of problem solving does this person bring to the table that we currently lack? That's how you innovate. You also have to clearly define roles. Ambiguity is a productivity vampire. If your designer and your front-end developer are both unsure who is responsible for the final user interface implementation, you get either duplicated work or worse, gaps where nobody does it.
Okay, so let's say our founder, let's call her Jane, has heeded this advice. She's built this amazing, balanced two-pizza team of rock stars. Now, how does she get them to be not just contractors executing tasks, but truly invested partners in the mission?
This is the magic shift. This is where you go from a project to a passion. And the biggest don't here is hoarding the why. The founder is the keeper of the vision. They know the core problem they're solving inside and out. But if they just hand out tasks like build a login screen without context, they're missing a huge opportunity.
So instead of build a login screen, it should be?
It should be, we need a login process that is incredibly fast and secure, because our data shows that if onboarding takes more than 30 seconds, we lose 40% of potential users. And we want their first experience to be frictionless, so they can get to the core value of the app immediately. See the difference? In the first scenario, the developer might just build a standard login. In the second, they might think, oh, we can integrate with Sign In with Apple or Google for speed. Or maybe we can have a clever passwordless login system. They become a problem solver, not just a coder.
That's such a simple but powerful reframe. You're giving them the context to be intelligent about their work. Another huge don't in this phase is insulating the team from user feedback.
A fatal error. If the only person seeing the App Store reviews, the support emails, and the user analytics is the founder, the team is living in a bubble. They start building for the founder, not for the user. I know a team that was so proud of a feature they built, but then the founder shared a 1-star review that just said, "This new feature is confusing and I can't find the button I use every day." That review did more to motivate the team and guide their redesign than any internal memo ever could.
It turns an abstract "we should improve this" into a concrete human problem. We confuse Sarah and Kansas. Let's fix this for Sarah. So the do's for fostering investment. We've talked about sharing the why and the user feedback. What about the process itself? How do you keep a team engaged day to day?
This is where a good process framework is a godsend. I'm a big advocate for agile methodologies, specifically Scrum for early stage apps. It provides a rhythm that's incredibly engaging.
Walk us through what that looks like in practice.
Sure. Work is broken down into short, intense bursts called sprints, usually 2 weeks long. At the start of a sprint, you have a sprint planning meeting, where the team collectively decides what they can commit to building in the next 2 weeks. This is key. It's not the founder dictating a list, it's the team owning the commitment.
So they have agency.
Exactly. Then, every single day, you have a 15-minute daily stand-up. It's not a status report for the manager, it's for the team. Each person quickly says what they did yesterday, what they're doing today, and if they're blocked by anything. This creates incredible transparency and peer accountability. Finally, at the end of the sprint, you have a sprint review, where you show off the working software that was built, and a retrospective where the team discusses what went well and what could be improved in their own process.
That constant cycle of commitment, execution, demonstration, and reflection is so powerful. It creates a tangible sense of progress. You're not just working on an endless project, you're completing a series of small, winnable races. And celebrating those wins is huge, right?
Absolutely vital. Celebrate shipping the sprint. Celebrate a great user review. Order pizza for the pizza team. It sounds cheesy, but it reinforces that shared mission. You're in this together.
Now, let's zoom out from the team for a bit.
Let's say Jane has a perfect invested team. What are the big strategic don'ts she needs to avoid in the actual app development?
The king of all strategic mistakes is something I call feature bloat, or the kitchen sink app. The founder gets excited and tries to include every single possible feature at version 1.0.
We need social sharing, a built-in chat, an AI recommendation engine, 3 different subscription tiers, and a minigame.
Exactly. And the result is a cluttered, confusing, slow, and buggy mess that doesn't excel at anything. The core value gets lost in the noise. You have to remember the 80-20 rule. 80% of users only use 20% of an app's features. Your job is to find that critical 20% and make it flawless.
Which leads us perfectly to the most important do in app strategy, the minimal viable product, or MVP.
The MVP is your best friend. It is the simplest version of your app that can possibly work that still delivers your core value proposition. It's not a half-baked app. It's a strategic, focused, and laser-sharp tool to test your fundamental business hypothesis. The goal of the MVP is to get it into the hands of real users as quickly as possible to learn. Are we solving a real problem? Is our solution any good? What should we build next?
So instead of building in stealth mode for 2 years, you build for 2 months, launch, and let the users tell you what to do next.
Precisely. It's building a guided missile, not a cannonball you fire and hope it hits the target. You launch, see where it's going, and correct the course. This saves you from the ultimate disaster, building something that nobody wants.
The final pitfall I want to touch on is one that users feel immediately: performance. We live in an age of zero patience. If an app is slow, it's dead.
It's so true. The data is brutal on this. Studies have shown that if an app takes more than 3 seconds to load, you can see abandonment rates of over 40%. 3 seconds. Speed isn't just a feature. For the user, speed is the experience. A slow, janky app feels unprofessional and disrespectful of the user's time. Prioritizing performance, fast load times, smooth animations, no crashes is non-negotiable. It's better to have a simple, blazingly fast app than a complex, slow one.
So to wrap this all up, if you could give our founder, Jane, one piece of final advice as she stands there with her napkin idea, what would it be?
I'd tell her this: your idea is the spark, but your team is the engine. Invest more time in building that small, passionate, cross-functional pizza team than in anything else. Foster a culture where they understand the why and are exposed to the user's reality. Guide them with a clear process and have the discipline to start with a simple, fast, and focused MVP. Do that, and you're not just avoiding pitfalls, you're laying down the highway for your app's success. The journey from napkin to profitability is a team sport.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for breaking down the blueprint for building a successful app team today.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you to our listeners for joining us. Until next time, keep building.